And welcome back to another episode of the Business is Pleasure podcast with your host, rocking all white. I'm in the off-white. I'm looking and feeling right. And my doctor told me I'm taking in too much carbs, but I'm still here with my sweet biscuit. I don't care. Colette, Monique, Francis, you guys already know the name. I surprised you with that one. You love the introduction, don't lie. You like that one.
My last
that
one
was
not
good.
Francis.
It's okay though. It's gonna be.
Okay.
Alright guys, so as you guys know, this is Business is Pleasure, and welcome again to another episode. And this is where we discuss our weekly business. We dabble in and out on how relationships doing and everything, but most importantly, we try to bring value to you guys, the people.
Hold on, wait. Your doctor said you're eating too much carbs?
No, I'm just saying. I was just being witty.
Oh, okay.
Because you're a sweet biscuit, and it's a carbs. I'm like, I don't care. Okay, guys.
Okay.
So on this episode of Business is Pleasure, we're going to be talking about our last week, how things been going, and like preparation for the fall season, which is personally my favorite time for fashion. So, how was your week?
So my week was good. We did a little bit of, I did a little bit of picking for our event that we just went to. So we went to an event by the name of 613 Flea. So it's a vintage market pretty much, but they sell like a bunch of other stuff like candles and craft work and just a variety of things. It was a really good event. We knew it was going to be good because we do the event pretty much once a month for the past like 5 or 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
And it's good because it's around, like, it's in Ottawa. And Ottawa is very, either you work for the government or
you're a student.
Yeah, or you're a student. So it was good because obviously our demographic is students. So the time of year that it fell on, it was kind of like, it was last weekend. So all of the students were coming back to go to the colleges and universities in the area. So it was actually pretty busy for us. Other people at the event, they found it a little bit on the slow side.
Yeah.
But that's because their demographic wasn't there. Previous events, we found it kind of slow because it wasn't our demographic.
Yeah, our demographic
wasn't there like primarily, but this one was good for us.
And the thing I like about us constantly going back to this event, we're starting to learn like the best periods to be there. Maybe next year maybe we'll stay out of the summer periods just because all the students are away and things like that. So it's kind of nice too, because like once you follow the trends, you can kind of pick up on certain things, and it's going to really benefit your business or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing I'm really enjoying about going to Ottawa in a 613 Flea is like, one, they're extremely organized. The way they put the event together is just really, really good. Every time we go there, we don't have to worry about finding our spot, loading in times when the event can be finished.
Yeah.
And also, I like the fact that we're actually attempting to like build a new demographic outside the city of Toronto. So for us to constantly keep going back there, it's like, hey, these guys again, you know? So we're having like a little demographic know us, and now we can be like more personable with them, you know? So that part I really appreciate and everything, you know? And like by knowing more people and them like interacting with the business, it's gonna help everyone.
Yeah.
It's really, really gonna help everyone. The thing also I liked about learning those trends and everything as well too, is like now we're starting to figure out like promotions, you know, who works best for us and who doesn't and everything, right?
Yeah.
So for the last maybe like month or so, we've been working with like a bunch of different people within the city of Toronto. You're always taking care of me. Am I sweating?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's you, babe. You're hot. So we've been working. Okay, babe, I'm going to.
It's the no AC.
I know. Don't worry. So we've been working with a bunch of people within the city and everything, and now we're starting to realize, okay, which people are best to work within promotions. So of course, the best return on value, and which people should we maybe like, you know what, stay away from, just because it's like, yeah, it's beneficial to work with you, but it's maybe not as beneficial as the other person.
Yeah, and I think like right now we're just on kind of like a trial period
with everything.
Yeah, like we're trying to figure out which promotions is going to have the best ROI, obviously. So we kind of had to test the market in that sense and give essentially free stuff to a variety of different people and see which one has the best return, or what like group or like type of people or the type of clothing that we're giving out, which one has the best return. So yeah, I think it's something that we probably won't have solidified now, but over the next couple of weeks, hopefully. Yeah, we'll get a better understanding of who to work with and what to stay away from and everything. Yeah. So far, from what I've realized, I like the whole aspect of just working with people who like vintage clothing, because one, it's a cheaper price point. So it's like we don't have that much overhead when we're doing the promotions. And then two,
it's something that like we relate to a lot more, right?
Yeah.
Because like with the vintage clothing, it's something that we grew up on. So to
Yeah.
have that marketplace around us, that's really beneficial. So I kind of like that a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, and like I feel also too we have a wider reach with the vintage because obviously it's at a cheaper price point. It's a lot more accessible to your average person. Whereas like with our higher end stuff, like yeah, we may be promoting that through somebody else, but like there's a large portion of our demographic that can't necessarily afford it.
Yeah. Or maybe like doesn't even like it, right?
Or doesn't like it or isn't interested in it.
Yeah,
right?
because it's not like we only do vintage; we do vintage and used as well too,
exactly.
right? So that's one thing to really think about. Well, it's kind of cool though because like sometimes you have this idea in your head. It's like, oh well, this person has 1 million followers. We're clearly gonna get bombarded with a whole bunch of likes, a whole bunch of followers. But then when you realize like, hey, this person that only has 10,000 followers, they actually work better for us.
Yeah.
Because again, the return on investment, right?
Yeah, and it also depends on their followers too.
Yes.
So like why are people on their page, why are people following them? Are their followers real or have their followers been bought? Like that kind of plays into it as well. Also, a lot of the times the people that we're choosing to do these promotions with, they are our demographic.
Exactly, and that's what's most important.
Exactly.
Because if there are demographics, it's more than likely that their friends and their audience is going to be our demographic as well. But I think you touched on that good point though. Is because like sometimes we may see people being like, hey, like yeah, they have 50,000 followers, but we have to ensure that all those followers and all those likes are actually authentic.
Yeah.
Because it'd be kind of like negligent on our behalf to like see someone that's like, oh crap, this guy has 100,000 followers. Yeah. Let's give him free stuff. Then to realize like, hey, like what's going on? Like we're not getting any likes, we're not getting any more followers.
But isn't that like even in that that's something that we just need to be aware of, which we do check, and it's so easy to find.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look at their followers, scroll through their pictures, see approximately how many likes they get. If they have like, let's say they have 50,000 followers and they have like 10 likes on pages on their pictures on average, there's a good chance that the majority of their followers are not real.
Yeah, for sure. For me, one thing I focus on, because we know likes, like that can be easily manipulated, but from what I know, views can't. So like I'll look at the person's views in ratio to their followers, and once they have like a good ratio, it's like, okay, cool. Like if you have 50,000 followers, you should at least be getting like 5,000 views. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like 5%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so for sure. So so that's one thing I really want to focus on to the fall. And speaking of fall, like I think we have so much new things that are going to be changing, so many ideas that we're implementing. What are some of the things that we're going to be doing that you're excited about, that you can't wait for and stuff like that?
I'm just really excited for us to kind of streamline our promotions and our marketing a little bit more, because I feel like that's something for as long as I can remember, it's been like a pain point for us, and it's been hard for us to kind of figure that out and wrap our heads around like marketing our brand and our business and like in a way that's beneficial for like our bottom dollar and our bottom line, but also something that's like aesthetically appealing. So like I'm really excited for it because I feel like we're slowly getting a better grasp on it. And I feel like the one thing that I'm really happy about for both of us is that I feel like we're giving ourselves a bit more grace. And I feel like because of that, more like...
Yeah, because money coming in. Before we were dead broke and not making any money from this business, so there was no like, oh, you know, we're trying our hardest, But now that we found a way to like do distribution well, money's coming in, now we're like, okay, maybe we should kind of be a bit harder on ourselves for marketing and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, by the way.
Yeah, but I think like it's not that we're being harder on ourselves, we're being like way more efficient and effective. So like before we used to be like, we need to figure this out today. To the like every single point down to the last, we need to figure out our whole marketing strategy today. And if we don't figure it out today, we're failing. You know what I mean? Whereas like now we're like, you know what, let's try this, let's try that, let's implement this, let's see if this works. And we're slowly getting like a whole overarching and encompassing picture of like what we want our marketing strategy to look like. But we're taking it day by day, and it makes more sense for us, I feel like. And it allows us to have more of like an authentic picture of what our marketing actually should be, as opposed to like what we think it.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why we were moving like at such a slow pace is because like there was a lot of fear that was surrounding the whole idea, because we didn't know what to do. There was so much uncertainty. And now I think like by us taking like small steps, we're slowly like eradicating that fear, and we're like, yo, like forget it, like let's do this, constantly like do those small things so we can have better understanding of what our market wants.
Yeah.
So we can properly market ourselves to them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's always important and everything. For me, again, one thing I'm really happy or excited to see for fall is just that like we're gonna be doing a lot more video content. A lot more video content. So some of the things that I think, I guess we should like let you guys know or whatever. So some of the things that we're gonna be implementing, we're gonna have this one show. It's gonna be called Hidden Gems. So it's gonna be like little tips and information to help you guys and new and upcoming resellers or entrepreneurs find ways to just help run their business more efficiently and effectively. So I think that's gonna be really nice too, because it's gonna allow us just to like be more present and allow people to understand like, yes, these guys do sell clothes, but they're also really also really informative and educational.
Yeah, and it's all about bringing value, right? So like, I know that there's a lot of people that are on our page aren't there to buy stuff. Like, they aren't there to buy clothing, vintage, or like whatever high end, but they're there for like the information that we provide, like the content, the articles, the little tips here and there about like reselling or even just like shipping in general or like random stuff for any business, not just like clothing based, like anything really, you know? So.
No, definitely. But I think that's so cool though, because it's like we're almost becoming like you're all in one place for people who like vintage or who are entrepreneurial. Because like, yeah, you can come and shop with us, but you can also have like a conversation with us through our articles and through comments or through our videos or our podcast. And it was kind of nice too, because like there was this guy, I'm sorry I don't know your name, his name was like AD, and he had like Nirvana logo for his YouTube, and and it was nice that like, even though he was like our first ever comment, it was nice that he took the time to watch the content, he appreciated it, and he left like his own feedback and stuff, you know?
Yeah, he did.
Because it's nice to be like, okay, like we're interacting with our community and we're giving them something that they find valuable, that they find entertaining, or whatever the case may be, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I kind of always want to continue pushing is like, yo, are we creating something that's valuable for people? Are we creating something that's going to stick with them and that's really going to resonate with them?
And that's useful. And if not, then we're not doing something right.
We're failing 100%. So in terms of like fall, is there anything that maybe you think that we should stop doing, we should slow down on?
I think for now we're good. I think for now we're kind of like finding our new groove, and we have to slowly implement that and see how it works out in order to make any assessments of that. So for now, I think we should just keep things as they are, and then reassess them in like the third week of September or like the last week of September.
Yeah. No, for sure. For me personally, aside from like the new things we're implementing, I'm really loving the stuff that we've been finding. Because I feel like we've been ready for fall since like July 30th.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because we kind of knew like when we first started the business, we were always like a season behind trying to catch up. But now we're starting to realize like, yo, like we need to be like the stores. They're always a month and a half ahead.
Yeah.
So like for us, some things I'm really excited to be introducing are like our collection of Carhartt jackets that we have. To let you guys know, surprisingly, our number one seller is actually Carhartt jackets. Any style, any color. And I think it's really because it's an item that's one, that a lot of people do know, especially in our community. And two, they're fairly pricey. They're really pricey. I think like an average jacket is between $150 to $200. And for us, we sell them at a price point from anywhere from like $50 to $70.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're essentially getting like a 70% off jacket in great style, great structure and everything.
Really good quality too.
Really good quality and everything too. And also for fall, some things that I also really enjoy as well is like denim. I'm a huge fan of denim. So like Levi's jackets, denim shirts, things like that. Are there any items that you like? Yeah.
I have like a couple furs just waiting.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny too, because I remember like when you first started, like when we found a fur for you, initially you're like, oh, I don't really like furs. And then once you put it on, like you got this new attitude, you're changing up, it's like,
And I did not make that face. So like personally, I'm not a huge fan of like wearing animals, just personally, but
it's not like, it's just that personal decision. It's not like a political one or anything.
Yeah, just personal. But at the same time, it's like I'd rather wear something that's already made than like try to find something that's brand new, for example.
Okay.
So So like this is my rationale.
I don't know. That did not make any sense to me. But let me hear you explain yourself.
Okay, so this is my rationale for wearing a fur. Okay, so at the end of the day, I found this fur.
Okay.
Obviously, it's been worn. It's already been made. Clearly, like it's been used. It's had a long history. These animals are long gone.
Okay.
Long story short.
Okay.
These animals are long gone. Okay?
R.I.P.
So, R.I.P. Rest in peace. But at the end of the day, I'd rather wear something that's already made than like go to like a brand new like I don't know manufacturer and be like, oh, can you make me a fur jacket? Okay. And also the money, you know.
The money doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it's a little expensive. It's a little pricey to get a custom made fur jacket, which I would never do because like I said, like I wouldn't feel comfortable knowing that there's people hunting these poor rabbits for my jacket. But if it's already made,
it's like you don't feel as bad.
I don't feel as bad. Okay. If that makes any sense.
Fair enough.
But I do love animals, and I do feel like it's a little excessive to wear them. But if it's already made,
it's okay.
I would rather not see that fur jacket go into an incinerator. It's already made.
But it's kind of crazy though because like at the same time you're helping one issue like recycling, lowering waste by buying vintage and buying used, but then like. In terms of like animal activists and animal people, it's like so like you kind of have to weigh like you're doing one good thing and then one bad thing. So it's like, but it evens it out though.
I understand the fact that it's a double-edged sword. I understand the fact that I'm like, okay, yeah, it's good that you're not buying a brand new fur jacket, but at the same time, I'm still promoting the image of like fur in general. But
society loves it. Society loves it. That's kind of crazy
to
too because like something like fur is something that's like ingrained within so many different cultures from like Africa to North America to anything, you know? So it's like that's something that's I don't think it's gonna go away, but it's gonna die down. For instance, it's like we love fur so much, we have faux fur.
Yeah, I think it's definitely died down a lot. Like for example, 90% of the fur that you see in like stores and malls and stuff,
it's all fake.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I think like at the same time, even though like fur is bad, we know that we have access to it because one, our demographic does like it, and it's still a trend that people do like.
Yeah.
So it's like I say go for it. I say keep getting the fur, keep buying it, keep selling it. Like, you know, it's unfortunate because like with business, you kind of have to put like some of those issues that like maybe people do have with like you and us and our business needs.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like I do feel like we're the lesser of
the two evils.
The two evils.
Still evil though.
It's still evil.
Still evil though.
It is still evil. I will say that, but at the same time, at least this animal didn't die to be wasted. Well, it's still a waste.
Honestly, let's just change this topic. Let's just
move on. Let's just move on. Honestly, I love animals. I love the little rabbits and whatever. Let's just say that. We'll move on.
Yeah, but like in terms of like us knowing what's trending, what's popular for the season, it's by literally doing the simplest of things, right? Like when you go to the mall.
Yeah, so basically like a lot of times people will come up to us and they'll be like, oh, like how do you guys know what to sell? Like how do you guys know what's popular? Like how do you guys know what to pick and what people like? It's really simple. So like there's a number of different ways that I personally do it. So one of the things that I do, I've mentioned it before, is I scroll through Instagram. So like scroll through the news feed, see what people are liking, see what I know we hate talking about this person, but Kylie Jenner, see what they're wearing, see what the Kardashians are wearing, and just kind of go from there. So that's one. Another one that I do is if I'm ever in a mall, I personally don't really shop in malls, obviously, but if I am...
Yeah, we're millennials, we don't shop in malls.
Okay, well, anyways. So if I ever do happen to be in a mall, I take a gander at the storefront. So like Aritzia mainly, Babaton, sometimes like H&M generally, just to see like different trends. And that kind of gives me an idea of like what other people are looking for, and a lot of the times they're kind of showcasing a replica of vintage, so it's kind of easy for us to find the actual vintage that people actually want. So those are kind of like the main ways that I can just like figure out what to sell. And then the last one that we kind of implement here and there is just trial and error. So that's how we figured out that Carhartt was a really big seller. Is we saw a jacket. I had seen Carhartt logo before, and I was like, yeah, let's just try it out. And people sold in like a minute. So
100%.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think one of the most effective ways though of us finding the trends are like what you said, like watching people like the Kardashians and the Jenners, because at the end of the day, they more or less lead fashion in the direction to where it's gonna go. And like, you know, for us to be like, oh well, I don't like these guys, so I'm not gonna watch their stuff. I'm not gonna realize what's going on or whatever. You know, it's like we're doing a disservice to our business and ourselves. You know, so like it's important that we're always like just preying people. We're always watching people. Like, you know, there'll be times at the mall where I'll be like, oh crap, like I like what that girl's wearing, you know? And then later you'll be like, oh crap, this girl's wearing something similar as well. So clearly that's gonna be popular. Even for like the fall season, plaid is always big. We should start going back, getting some of like the Pendleton, what's that other brand? The one that the JD LL Bean as well too. Some flannels and stuff like that too, right? And I've also seen a trend too. A lot of young people, they're wearing flannel pants.
I've seen that.
Like, you know what I mean?
But I don't know if that's still...
It's still a thing, especially for fall.
Yeah, that's true.
They're wearing flannel pants, but like they have to be, of course, like slim fit, modern fit, or whatever, you know. Not like the baggy ones that our grandparents used to wear or anything like that, you know?
Another trend that I've seen for women is...
28 minutes, we're fine.
It's kind of like it's like fur, but it's not really fur. It's like, it looks like quilted almost. Okay. Like picture
velvet?
Like... No. Picture like velvet's not quilted. Picture like you know the inside of like the denim Sherpas?
Okay.
Picture that, the inside, but on the outside.
Okay, so like wool.
It's just like a quilted kind of looking jacket, and it's usually like in beige or black.
It's actually funny. I actually saw one that was on Instagram, but it was an off-white one.
Yeah.
It was like a quilted one like that. Was that the same one you kind of saw?
I didn't see an off-white one, but that's what I've seen like for fall jackets.
Yo, but that's the thing too. Like I'm such a hater sometimes because it's like just because it's a trend, I still try to stay in my own zone of what I feel comfortable wearing. I'm like, no, like these boots are ugly. I'm not rocking those. But then it's like, yo, we still have to sell them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just because we don't like it doesn't mean that we have to be overly emotional, you know?
Yeah,
we still have to sell them.
And like we were talking about this last week or the week before, I think. Like we were saying that like 75% of this or 25% of the stuff that we sell we don't like.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't wear it.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear it, but I know there's a demographic for it, so I'm going to sell it.
Yeah, because like one, it has to like, even though we don't like it, it still fits our brand. You know what I mean? And even though like we don't like it, it's still good quality, well-structured items that our audience definitely has to like. Or
yeah,
like, you know?
I'm sure like I definitely can think of a number of different like styles or trends over the years that have been popular that we haven't sold because it's just like it doesn't suit our brand. It just doesn't suit our brand. So like even though there are a bunch of things that we don't like but we still sell, there's still like a line in the sand where we don't cross.
What's that line exactly? Because like
I don't know. I think it's just a feel.
And like sometimes we'll say like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not.
I feel like it's just a feeling. Like a lot of the times when I'm picking, I will like picture someone in my head. Like I'll literally hold up a shirt and I'll picture someone in my head. And if I can see someone wearing it, I get it. If I can't see anyone or like our ideal customer wearing it, I don't get it. And that's usually how I base it off of.
How do you feel about that whole idea though that like our business essentially from the items that we do sell, it's from this point, it's either that we stick extremely niche or we just follow the trends within the demographic?
I feel like we have to play it by ear. So like if we find that, let's say over the years that we're sticking within our niche and then let's say sales start dropping, then obviously it's not working and we have to move on. Like we talked about this before, but like vintages are gonna be popular forever. You know what I mean? Like there may be a day when it's like people are just like completely off vintage. Of course, there's gonna be like the small groups that are still like into it or whatever, but as like a mainstream thing, like maybe people just won't be into it anymore. And I think at that point we'll have to get really honest with ourselves as to whether we're gonna move on and start selling different types of clothing or stick with the vintage or even
write it out.
Or even like start selling different types of clothing and have like a small vintage like chapter and like just focus on that for like really specific things. But
and I think that's an issue that we'll have to figure out when we actually get there. You
That's
know what I
what I
mean?
mean.
But at the end of the day, it's like it's good just to have those conversations in the back of our mind, because like by changing what we sell, we're essentially changing what the company stands for.
Slightly.
Partially. Right?
Partially.
Because like that's different price points. Does that go against our mission? Those are new different items. Is that the quality and the structure that we actually like of those items?
Yeah.
So I think it's an important question just to have. But at the end of the day, it's like business is business is business. And like whatever the market wants, we gotta respect the market. We don't want to be naive like how we initially were and be like, nah, we just want to focus on these items.
Exactly, and that didn't work for us.
That definitely didn't work for us.
Yeah.
But I think like as long as we have each other, we keep working and just keep like doing our market research, we'll be fine still. We'll be fine still. All right, guys. So that's gonna be everything for this week. What? Am I missing?
No, I was just scratching my leg.
Okay. That's gonna be everything for this week. Thank you guys so much for hitting us up, liking our stuff, buying our clothes, appreciating us, because we appreciate you. So until next time, please like and share so we know that you care. All right, guys. Peace.
That was so cheesy.
You're a hater, man.
I made it cheesy.